Hey, what's up? Most people have a lot more time than they're willing to admit. A lot more time than they say they have. If you watch that dumbass intro, you understand. You have more time than you think you do. But let's look at some other examples. Your friend says, man, I don't have time. I can't learn another language. I can't exercise. I don't have the time. You know your friend. You know that's not true. You know that they're spending 1, 2, 3, 4 hours on social media shit, 5 hours on Fortnite, 6 hours on Call of Duty or something. They do have time, right? Or what about your coworker who says they don't have time, but they were pretty loud with their conversation for 45 minutes with their coworker, just talking about God knows what. Do you really not have time? But honestly, the worst of it is when you say that. Do you honestly not have time? Disclaimer, if you're a parent, ignore all of this. I don't know what's going on with you. That's a completely fucked situation, so ignore this. I'm not going to pretend to know how much time is being eaten up by your little rascals, so ignore all this. Don't bitch in the comments. But for everyone else, think about it. Okay, let's say you have a job. You commute is shit. You get home at like 7:30. You have to, let's say you do the hygiene stuff, the eating, all that stuff that takes up, let's just say, an hour and a half. So now it's 9. Let's say you gotta wake up early. You sleep at like 10 or 11 or something. Let's just say you have just an hour free time per day because you're so fucking busy. Let's just say. What you spend that hour doing is really important when you say, I don't have time. What most people mean when they say, I don't have time is, I don't want to spend the time I have doing blank, blank, blank. That's what they really mean. Most people have the time. Again, parents, don't bitch in the comments. I understand your lives are different, but for the average person, you do have a lot more time than you think you do. Let's go back to the example. You have 1 hour free per day. Okay, you can put that towards language learning, exercising, reading, getting some kind of knowledge, getting some kind of good enjoyment, just taking a jog or something, just talking with your spouse, whatever, anything, right? Or you could spend an hour jerking off, leveling up in Fortnite, browsing Reddit, watching people die, whatever. It could be any number of things. You do have the time. It's a matter of how it's being used, though. Now, most people are not honest with themselves. They say, I don't have time. What they mean is, my time, I want to spend it in a different way. Let's say you have that hour a day, and since a year has 365 days, let's say you have 365 free hours per year. When you put it that way, it kind of sounds like a lot, right? We're not even counting weekends here, which can add dozens, hundreds more hours per year, right? Let's just say 1 hour, because you're really fucking busy, right? Now, if you put those hours to something else, like language learning, exercising, doing anything that's helpful for you, then you can feel like, wow, there's so much time I actually have. But if you use those spare hours to, I don't know, scroll, then yeah, it seems like you don't have much time, right? Because all that time fucking wasted went down the drain. So now you think, the time is gone. I just don't have time. Even though you just sank that time into doing something completely useless that you won't remember or care about tomorrow. Now, for me, this came into play when about a year and change ago, I dropped a lot of habits that weren't helping me. Like, for example, porn, a lot of video game stuff. I've actually recently gotten a bit more into gaming, but that's more like a puzzle type of thing, not like playing an RPG of hundreds of hours or whatever. But point is, at a certain time, I dropped a lot of my habits. I even sold my TV. I have a projector and a TV in the living room, so I'm not without it, but I don't have it in my room. It's not easily available to me, right? So I dropped all these things that usually took up my time. And what I realized when I did that is, holy fuck, I have so much extra time in the day when I'm not doing certain other things. There's several more hours in the day that I can do things in. Holy shit. And you realize that most people, they drain their time away by doing completely useless bullshit that they will not care about tomorrow, much less next week, much less next year. Completely useless shit. And I'm not saying you can't spend your time doing stuff that is completely useless if it's enjoyable to you. What I'm saying is you cannot use that as an excuse to say, I don't have time. You do have time. You just have to be honest with yourself and say, I have a certain amount of time and I want to spend it a certain way. That's not memorable or helpful. That's fine. You can do that. Just say, don't say, I don't have time to exercise. Even though that takes like 10 seconds. Say, I don't want to spend my time doing that. And you're good to go. It's as simple as that. Just acknowledge it. I do have time. Say it with me. I do have time. I just don't want to use it in a way that's great. I want to drain it. Just say that. It's fine. If you want to do that, it's okay. But do not say, I do not have time. That's not true. You definitely have time. You have at least 300. You have at least over 300 hours per year. You know how much shit you can do with that? You know how many fucking languages or books you can read with that time? It's a lot. It's spoilers. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Totally fine. Just don't say you don't have time. Say you don't have the drive to do something else. That's it. Simple as that. But you do have the time. Also, if you want to save some time with fitness related stuff, you can check the links in the description. There's something that can be pretty helpful for you. But anyways, it's over. So if you want to see more, subscribe. If you don't, bye.